Welcome along to Ask Me Anything. This time we're here at the Oval. Ebony Rainford-Brent is alongside me. She's on debut. Deep Dasgupta, our Bengali import, and our stats extraordinaire, Andy Zaltzman, is with us too. Phil in Egham, I was wondering if there is a specific variation of a duck for a batter on debut. If one doesn't exist, can the team come up with one? Now, you've just reminded me that you got a duck on debut for your T20 international debut.
Yeah, I got 3 ducks in a row in my first 3 games for England in T20, so it wasn't great. I think the only word that comes to mind of what it should be called is a shocker. Or maybe if it's not a shocker, it's a nightmare. So somewhere between that is what it feels appropriate for someone who's making their debut, the big hype up, and you're back in the hutch within 2 minutes.
Deep?
I can't think of anything. I can't even think of a duck on debut. I mean, like you say, it's an absolute nightmare, a duck on debut, and especially if you're a batter. God, no. Thank God I didn't get one.
Well, I've looked at men's Test cricket. What percentage of men's Test players would you say have got a duck on first innings, on debut?
5%.
5%? What are you going for?
1%?
1%?
2.5.
It is 13%.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So 415 players have got a duck in first innings on their debut.
Wow.
Ian in Worksop, who leads the way for most drop catches in Test cricket?
For most of Test history, we don't have data on dropped catches, and for recent Test history, that data is wildly unreliable. So it's incomplete for matches. Also, there's a subjectivity to what counts as a drop catch and how bad those catches are. So it's really hard to measure. However, I did look at the stats, and with the stats that we have, this must be a misprint, but of the players who've had 100 or more chances in Test cricket on the database, it goes back to 2006 for this kind of stuff, the 2 with the worst catch percentage are James Anderson and Alistair Cook. So there's a direct statistical correlation between players who drop a lot of catches and then get knighthoods. So I don't know what we're rewarding here. But as I say, to caveat that, these stats are unreliable. Obviously, if you field in the slips, you're getting harder catches. Generally, the drop percentage is high. So Joe Root and Steve Smith, 2 of the sort of greatest catchers of the modern era, actually have quite low catch success percentages. So the stats are really unreliable. What we've seen in this series, each individual chance has a huge effect on the game, and it's really hard to measure the overall
Can
numbers.
I just chip in here? Because I want some clarity about what a drop catch is, because we had a bit of clarity about what's a 50, what's a 100 yesterday. We had a bit of beef. But I say a drop catch is anything you get your hand to. Would you say that, or is that harsh?
I think that's a fair call. I think it's a fair call. You get your hand to it, yes, could be a tough one or an easy one. The degree might change, but I guess if you get your hands to it, unfortunately, it is.
It's got to go down.
See, I'd dispute that. And for me, so someone like we saw a really fast Corton bowled. I think Siraj got fingertips to, and you see diving catches, 1 finger on it. But then you'll see a catch where the wicket-keeper and the first slip watch each other, and it goes at catchable height between them. That doesn't go down as a drop because no one's touched it. But that's a way worse missed chance. So I like to count missed chances rather than specific drops.
Martin in Worcestershire, why do so many cricketers bowl right-handed and bat left-handed? I find it fascinating that some of the best cricketers like Stuart Broad and Ben Stokes do it. Holly Colvin, of course, she bowled left-handed, but then batted right-handed. And there's a number that do both.
Yeah, I think, in hindsight, I think I would have changed my career and become a left-hander, because so many people, so my friends, you think of Lydia Greenway, for example, who played with us, she throws right-handed, dives around, writes right-handed, but a lot of people, it's because when they were growing up, it was their stronger hand, and they decided when getting into their stance to go, let me use my stronger hand as my top hand, rather than what I did is hack it across the line with the bottom hand. And I think it's actually quite a smart thing. I don't know about you,
Yes.
Deep, and how, but I think if you can get a young person, when they're still able to adapt, to think about trying both, then that gives you that flexibility of changing the angle of the bowler and getting, I say, better opportunities.
So one of the major reasons is that your top hand used to be your dominant hand, maybe not anymore with the introduction of so much of power and T20 cricket and all of that. But I think the major reason would be that, for example, Sourav Ganguly bowls right-handed, bats left-handed. Sachin Tendulkar the other way around, he does everything left-handed but bats right-handed, bowls right-handed. So the idea was that if your dominant hand, your stronger hand is your top hand. So if you're a left-handed, left-hand dominant, you bat right-hand. If you're right-hand, vice versa. The other important thing, I guess, at times could be the fascination of left-hand batters. You see a young kid or whatever, you're fascinated by left-hand batters. They're so elegant, and you encourage youngsters to go left-hand.
Out of all the bowlers who've had 50 or more Test wickets, in men's Test cricket. There are 329 right-handed bowlers. 295 of them bat right-handed, only 34 left-handed. So that's only 10%. Whereas of left-handed bowlers, 99 left-handed bowlers taking 50-plus Test wickets. 54 of them bat left-handed, 45 of them bat right-handed. So actually the predominance of batting with the opposite, almost the wrong way round, if you think of it like that, is higher with left-handed bowlers. But we have noticed it with a number of significant players who've... I don't know what we can read into that. Nothing. Nothing, I think.
Who looks after the ball in Test matches overnight? And does it need to be kept at a certain temperature? Ebbs, do you know?
The honest question is I don't know, but I've always just had this visual of the third umpire like having it in like a little special box, putting it next to his bed and keeping an eye on it overnight, maybe even just clipping any trimmings off, like really keeping a close eye. So that's my theory. I don't know if anyone knows. That's what I hope. Anyone else know?
Umpires.
Umpires. Is it going into their room overnight, or is it?
I know it will go into their room,
beds?
as in here.
Oh, their
not
sleep
their
with
room.
it?
Nah, I hope not. But then I'm sure they keep it with themselves in their umpire's room or wherever they sit. But definitely with them.
I've heard that it's a safe.
Right.
Yeah, it's safe in the umpire's room. Zachary says, hello, why don't cricket stadiums have roofs so the rain doesn't affect play, just like at Wimbledon? Ebbs, you've been going on about the new lights here and the fancy new lights. Why can't you have a roof here at the Oval?
Yeah, I do love these lights, by the way, just in case you don't know. I don't know if you can see them, but they are Surrey feathers, not a wingsuit flying over the ground. Do you know what? Honestly, we all know we would love to have a roof over the stadium. There's only one I know of. It's in Australia, isn't it? I can't
That's
remember
right, yeah.
Perth or Melbourne, but there is one. I think the reality is how big is a cricket stadium to actually build engineering across this? I think is quite a pretty big feast to try and do. So look, there's no doubt if it was possible, we'd definitely see it because it would save us so much of wasted time.
Yeah. Personally, I believe every major cricket playing country should have one. England, Australia has one, but we don't play. I don't think they play cricket anymore. They used to, but England should have at least one covered venue throughout the country. And when you have World Cups or WTC finals, things like that, important games, yeah, should play there.
The only thing is, compared to tennis, it affects the atmosphere and the moisture of the surface and how the ball is coming out and everything like that. So would it provide too many variables?
Possibly, but cricket has loads of variables anyway, so it would just be another one. I think just the cost and the logistics are prohibitive. You look at the size of this place compared to Wimbledon. I think either there should be a compromise where Wimbledon starts playing tennis on pitches this big, or we get a roof here. But it's not. I think for the amount that would cost, you'd be better doing a sacrifice to the weather gods before every match. I think that would end up being cheaper, like 100 head of oxen or something, and probably more effective.